Hello, I'm here with Max Fellows from MCI Experience. We're going to have a little conversation about the topic that you were speaking about today, which is brand experience and experience marketing or experiential marketing, one of the hot topics today.
Yeah.
Give us a few insights on what the session was all about.
Yeah, so really the session was all around not only kind of breaking down the meaning behind experience. People use or have heard terms like experiential many times. So really understanding and discussing what experience is, but then also how we can engage with our customers or with brands through experiential technique, experience-led techniques. So hence the kind of experience marketing. Yeah, so we then talked around the current landscape and then also the trends of what we're going to see kind of coming forward.
What is happening? Is there any new technology coming on?
Yeah, it's funny because we talked around the technology piece, but also the fact that actually technology can be seen as a distractor. So whereas we're so technology enabled at the moment, we have at least one device pretty much on us at all times. So whereas sometimes, unless there is a technology or a handset or device that enhances that experience, we should be able to put it away. And I think brands should be confident enough to be able to say that. And so rather than forcing in technology into an event or into a live experience, actually, unless that enhances that, then we can leave it alone. Yeah.
So technology to me is one segment in the toolbox of a event designer. Techniques are something else, something you do with a group of people. Do you have an example of how you can use techniques for enhancing experience?
Well, yeah, so we talked around, when we're talking around the current landscape and what's developing and changing, we talked about one of the few things such as the attention span of individuals reducing even further. So that's one thing we need to take into consideration. We're talking around the way in which we're delivering content, so much more use of video, of sound. Also a couple of other things around the senses, so you're integrating smells and things into that experience. So where we as individuals will only ever kind of remember experience when it hits certain touch points, it's really about how we can do that to start off with and then build the kind of experience of the event from off the back of those. So whether that's then the way in which content's delivered and we turn that into a more engaging hands-on type of approach, or whether it's, it's still kind of information on screen, but it has other elements within that environment that enhance that experience.
Okay, and are we talking about like a big staging production type of environment in a big plenary session, or also about smaller educational sessions?
For sure, I think the content is really important to understand, but it's how that content's delivered. So it doesn't necessarily have to be all about huge, big production, big screen. Actually, it could be much, much smaller, and it tends to be the smaller budgets that mean you have to think a bit more creatively about it. We had an example where we had a scent machine in the room, so the smell of the seaside. We then had the sounds of lapping waves, things like this, and then we created kind of the image and transported people, albeit for a moment, kind of to that kind of memory and mindset. It took about 30 seconds and it took no real kind of production at all, but it worked really well. It got people thinking in a different mindset.
All right, and then to close, what would be your number one tip that people can apply to their events to increase the experience for participants?
Yeah, I think there's two. One of which is understanding your audience, is the fact that we're all very different individuals, yet I think we can all be guilty, the industry can be guilty of treating everyone as one. They're going to like the same foods, they're going to like the same environments, temperatures, things like that. So need to understand your audience and whether it's Gen Z or millennials, and then how they engage with information. Some will be more technology enabled than others. The second piece is around the personalization of an experience. It's really, really important. So we get hit with 5,000 plus messages and brands a day, so we need to think about how we can cut through that noise with personalization, and then using some of these other kind of sensory pieces to then kind of build up that potency of that experience.
Well, thanks for sharing that.
Brilliant. No, you're more than welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.